On the news, 15 die, over 30 sustained injuries in gruesome OGUN accident. FG confirms over 200 cases of Lassa fever in 2020. And coronavirus continues to spread as Germany records first case. Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Annetta Philip. No fewer than 15 people have been crushed to death and 38 others injured in a fatal truck accident at the Omi River in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State. The sector commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps Ogun State Command, Clement Oladele, confirmed that the accident involved a white Mitsubishi truck traveling from Sokoto, overloaded with passengers. The truck reportedly veered off the road and crashed into the dried Omi River along the Ibadan-Ijebu-Ode road. And not so good news as well. Well, as this 41 people have died of Lassa fever in parts of the country since the beginning of the year 2020. The Minister of Health, Osage Ehanire, disclosed this on Tuesday during a press briefing at the ministry's secretariat in Abuja, the nation's capital. Giving an update on the raging outbreak of the disease, he revealed that at least 2 health professionals were among the 41 deaths recorded. Ehanire added that there were at least 258 confirmed cases recorded at least 19 states in the country. In Gombe State, Commissioner of Health Ahmed Mohamed Ghana says the ministry has confirmed 2 persons dead from Lassa fever in Gombe, with 5 others under investigations. Reacting to this, Director, Water Quality Control and Sanitation in the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Emmanuel Awe, says it will promote hand-washing culture in public places following the recent outbreak of Lassa fever in Nigeria. The Ogun State Governor, Dapo Abiodun, has assured the traders at the Sabo Market in Shagamu, whose shops were affected by the fire, that the market would be rebuilt as soon as possible. Abiodun made this known during an on-the-spot assessment of the market situated along Sabo Road in Shagamu. Fire had engulfed the popular Sabo Market in Shagamu, Ogun State, early on Tuesday morning. The cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained, but eyewitnesses says many shops and properties have been affected. Abiodun has urged the affected traders to be calm and patient with the state government, adding that the traders must learn a lesson from what happened at the scene of the fire outbreak. Residents of some slums in Lagos on Tuesday have marched the streets of Lagos to the office of the governor in Alausa, Ikeja. They include evicted residents of Akwabe, Otodogwame, among other slums, and are venting their grievances over the ongoing demolition exercise along coastal lines. The advocacy group says that thousands of people have been displaced in the eviction exercise without any shelter arrangements from the government. They added that hundreds of Akwabe residents were evicted forcefully after giving just 2 hours' notice and were rendered homeless. The National Assembly complex in Abuja has resumed plenary after almost 6 weeks of recess. Members of the Senate and House of Representatives arrived in scanty numbers on Tuesday at the respective legislative chambers after the break, which began on December 20th, 2019. At plenary, President of the Senate, Senator Ahmed Lawan, read a letter written by President Muhammadu Buhari seeking the recognition of the interim management of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, till the forensic audit of the accounts and activities of the commission, which was ordered in 2019, is complete. Buhari in the letter asked the lawmakers to recognize the NDDC interim management, and the committee was named by the Minister of Niger Delta, Godswill Akpabio, last year.
The Senate is invited to note that while the process of composition and Senate confirmation of the appointment of the board was ongoing, I had directed that the forensic audit of the commission be carried out, which is being overseen by the constituted interim management team. Based on this, and in order to allow for uninterrupted process of the forensic investigation, the board appointment confirmed by the Senate has to be put on hold to allow The interim team continued to manage the commission pending the outcome of the forensic audit.
As the 9th Assembly resumes, some lawmakers say the National Assembly is ready to deepen democratic governance, carrying out their legislative duties thoroughly. The lawmakers reject the report that the National Assembly is a stooge to the executive arm. Tunji Oye now reports from Abuja.
One issue that was largely discussed in the media in 2019 was the alleged romance between the legislature and the executive. Nigerians believe the 9th Assembly is an appendage of the executive, a development believed not too healthy for the country's democracy. But some federal lawmakers have unequivocally rejected any assumption that the National Assembly is a rubber stamp institution. The lawmakers said the unity and collaboration between the two arms of government is crucial to delivering dividends of democracy to the people.
The language of the media or the journalists has always been rubber stamp. When the executive and the legislature, when there is handshake, when there is a peaceful coexistence, what you want to deduce from that is that there are many things that goes into that. But the point is, I want to believe that we have been able to live peaceably with each other. We have been able to accommodate ourselves where we feel there should be misunderstanding or altercation. There are always a meeting point where two people can meet and they discuss or deliberate on their differences and they are able to forge ahead, and that has been it. What we are saying is that it is where peace reigns that we can really do anything tangible, that we can progress, and that is how it should be. I mean, even not now, it's not as if we don't have our reservations. And when you listen to the debate on the floor of the House, you will know it is not business as usual. Because normally we do hear our views and tell it the way it's supposed to be.
For the 7 months that we sat together, we did things the way it's meant to be done, politically. If you see us passing bills into law, if you see us going by what is meant to be done, does really not mean that we are appendage to the executive. We deliberate and we debate on issues clearly on the floor of the chambers. And for anyone who goes about saying, because there is peace and harmony within the system, because you see the executive and the legislature talking together, does that interpret the fact that we are stooges to the executive? No. We're just clear-minded people, and we take things the way they should be.
For the year 2020, the lawmakers have set an agenda of what they will achieve for Nigerians.
For someone like me, I'm a clear apostle of reviewing the constitution of this country, without a shadow of doubt. And so is a host of us when we talked about it at not even at one of our executive sittings. So those are things that we're going to clearly look at. You can be sure that this night assembly will delve clearly into the constitutional review of this country.
The determination is that we want to make Nigeria conducive. We want to create an atmosphere where everybody feels proud of being a Nigerian. We know we have our challenges. There are many, most especially security challenges. And this really is really discouraging, is demeaning even to human nature. And that is a problem we have. But we're just praying. We are hoping and we are praying that all this will be addressed this year.
It is the first legislative day in the year 2020, and lawmakers both at the Green and Red chambers have shown readiness to discharge their legislative duties in the interest of the country. From Abuja, Tunji Oye, TV360 News.
Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade says President Muhammadu Buhari will soon inaugurate an empowerment program called G-Money, meant to boost agricultural activities in the state. The governor reveals this while briefing State House correspondents after a closed-door meeting with the president at the presidential villa in Abuja. Ayade says the G-Money is designed to create job opportunities for young people in the agricultural sector of the economy.
We have agreed without specificity of date, but agreement in terms of period. He will be visiting Cross River State to commission yet again a new program called G-Money, G-Money is an empowerment of young people through agriculture, job creation through agriculture, establishing massive equipment. We, as a state, have procured equipment from John Deere of United States, which is the biggest company in the world for deforestation, land clearing, land preparation for agriculture. So with the partnership we have with Tata as the local partner, we have made order and have taken delivery of a large number of tractors, bulldozers, payloaders, excavators. The list is endless. So we are going to create jobs for over 2,000 young people who will have at least 5 hectares of farmland for rice. Mr. President will flag off the G-Money program, which is a green economy focusing on agriculture as a way forward.
On the sidelines of his meeting with the president, Governor Ayade also absolved himself from the travails of the trained journalist Agba Jalingo, who has been held by security agencies for alleged treason since August last year. Ayade said Jalingo's arrest and trial is in connection with Omoyele Shore's Revolution Now protest, adding that he had been at the forefront of the call for the journalist's release.
On his own Facebook page, he sent pictures where he was being tear-gassed in the Revolution March in Lagos. Your own pictures, posted by yourself. And when Sowore was arrested, the same man went back on his Facebook to post that the revolution have just begun. We will continue this battle until revolution works. In court, he admitted. He is in court, federal government versus Agba Jalingo, not Cross River State. The same Agba Jalingo who is in jail, I sent him money. I called my chief press secretary and the rest. I said, look, the journalists will never understand that Agba Jalingo is the chairman, is the state chairman of Soware's party. All I simply did was to stay out of the issue. He is in court for treason. A state does not have power to try somebody for treason. It's not me. Agba Jalingo is not a journalist. Agba Jalingo is the chairman of a political party.
Speaker of the Imo State House of Assembly, Collins Chiji, alongside 7 other lawmakers, have defected to the All Progressives Congress from the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The Speaker announced his defection and that of his colleagues during a plenary on Tuesday. The plenary, which lasted for 15 minutes, came to an end after the Speaker announced the names of the defecting lawmakers. With the defections, APC now has 18 lawmakers, with PDP having 8 in the Imo State House of Assembly. The Federal High Court in Abuja has reduced the bail conditions of former chairman of the defunct pension reform tax team, Abdulrasheed Maina. In respect of his ongoing trial in corruption charges, Justice Okon Abang on Tuesday reduced the bail amount from 1 billion naira to 500 million naira. The court also ordered Maina to provide one surety, who must be a serving senator with landed property in either a Tama Business Central District or Katampe districts of Abuja, instead of 2 sureties previously required. Maina had approached the court, praying it to review and vary some of the bail conditions it handed to him on November 25th, insisting that he found them too stringent to fulfill. The National Examination Council, NECO, has confirmed Senator Ifeanyi Ubah's certificate as original, days after he was sacked by an Abuja High Court over forgery allegations in his results submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The head of the Department of Legal and Board Affairs of NECO, Comfort Kolo, confirmed that Ubah took a total of 8 subjects, had credits in 7 and failed 1. In a letter addressed to the National Secretary of the Young Progressives Party, NECO said Ubah was given a statement of results in June 2003 containing the subject he passed and the grades, and the same was what the senator had tendered to INEC prior to his election. You're still watching news now on TV360 Nigeria. We'll be right back after this break.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those that are silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Here's Onyi Adekunle with big announcements in the financial sector and more.
Thank you very much, Aneta. President Muhammadu Buhari has confirmed appointments into the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Nigeria Communications Commission, NCC, and the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA. The president confirmed Dr. Kingsley Obiora as Deputy Governor of the CBN. He also confirmed the appointment of the chairman and member of the board of the NCC, and the retired general also confirmed the appointment of Captain Musa Shuaibu Nuru as the Director General of the NCAA. The Senate President Ahmed Lawan read letters confirming the appointments during plenary on Thursday.
Letter from Mr. President, confirmation of appointment. In accordance with the provisions of Section 8, subsection 1 and 2 of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN Establishment, etc., Act 2007, I have the pleasure to present Dr. Kingsley Isitua Obiora for confirmation as Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
There are speculations that the Central Bank of Nigeria may devalue the Naira in 2020 as a result of structural imbalances in the global oil market and policies from the CBN, among others. The Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria has, however, laid fears that the Naira devaluation will not be happening anytime soon. While addressing journalists, Emefiele says Nigeria's reserves level remained high and strong enough to be able to meet obligations in the economy.
There's no need for anybody to ever think that an adjustment would happen. The CBN is able to meet all obligations. The reserve level is high and strong enough to be able to meet obligations in the economy. And so there's no need for anybody to contemplate that. One, we believe crude price at above 60, crude price, today at almost about 66 to 60.
On the news, 15 die, over 30 sustained injuries in gruesome OGUN accident. FG confirms over 200 cases of Lassa fever in 2020. And coronavirus continues to spread as Germany records first case. Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Aneta Philip. No fewer than 15 people have been crushed to death and 38 others injured in a fatal truck accident at the Omi River in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State. The sector commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps Ogun State Command, Clement Oladile, confirmed that the accident involved a white Mitsubishi truck traveling from Sokoto, overloaded with passengers. The truck reportedly veered off the road and crashed into the dried Omi River along the Ibadan-Ijebu-Ode road. And not so good news as well. As this 41 people have died of Lassa fever in parts of the country since the beginning of the year 2020. The Minister of Health, Osage Ehanire, disclosed this on Tuesday during a press briefing at the ministry's secretariat in Abuja, the nation's capital. Giving an update on the raging outbreak of the disease, he revealed that at least 2 health professionals were among the 41 deaths recorded. Eanire added that there were at least 258 confirmed cases recorded at least 19 states in the country. In Gombe State, Commissioner of Health Ahmed Mohamed Ghana says the ministry has confirmed 2 persons dead from Lassa fever in Gombe, with 5 others under investigations. Reacting to this, Director Water Quality Control and Sanitation in the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Emmanuel Awe, says it will promote hand-washing culture in public places following the recent outbreak of Lassa fever in Nigeria. The OGUN State Governor Dapo Abiodun has assured the traders at the Sabo market in Shagamu, whose shops were affected by the fire, that the market would be rebuilt as soon as possible. Abiodun made this known during an on-the-spot assessment of the market situated along Sabo Road in Shagamu. Fire had engulfed the popular Sabo market in Shagamu, Ogun State, early on Tuesday morning. The cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained, but eyewitnesses says many shops and properties have been affected. Abiodun has urged the affected traders to be calm and patient with the state government, adding that the
meet the demand for these essential commodities will continue to bite very hard if even with this CRR being enforced. So if it is enforced, fine, because it's not 100% of the inflation is not due to border closure, obviously. At least part of it, whatever proportion is due to excess liquidity, probably can be addressed by this CRR pronouncement. But the main issue, the supply side problems that we faced, which resulted in inflation, is the closure of the borders.
Despite speculations that the increase in the CRR could impede the lending pattern to the real sector, the Apex Bank says it is confident this move will make more money available to banks to lend to businesses while retaining the benefits from the bank's loan-to-deposit ratio policy. Adeshawa Odushoga, TV360, Lagos.
We'll take a short break now and return with stock market review. Please don't go away. Selling pressure continued to weigh on the performance of the Nigeria Stock Exchange, resulting in the second consecutive loss for investors this week. The all-share index, which dipped by 0.26%, went down further today by 0.59%, while the market cap of all listed equities dropped from 15.2 trillion naira in previous session to 15.132 trillion naira today. Also, the activity level was lower as the volume of shares traded dropped significantly from 444 million units to 250.931 million units today, while the value of stocks traded surged from 4.8 billion to 4.8 billion naira today, representing an increase of nearly 1.5 billion from previous session. And Total was the worst performing stock for today. We see Total leading the price losers, declining by 8.55% to close at 107 naira. Flour Mill PLC followed by shedding 5.79% to close at 21 naira and 15 kobo per share. Guarantee and Stanbic IBTC also had a bad trading day, both completing the table of 4 losers. And on the flip side, we see that Julius Berger made a good comeback today, recovering from losses in previous sessions to the top gainer spot, selling at 22 naira 15 kobo, of course, that's per share. NACO also maintained the spot on the gainers table after the value of its share price increased by 9.67% to close at 2 naira and 95 kobo. On the list also, we have Vitafoam and NEM also making gains of 20 kobo each. And moving on to the foreign scene, let's see, FTSE and Dow Jones edged higher after coronavirus sell-off, but unfortunately, Japanese shares slipped. Asian countries being the worst hit by the spread of the virus. Nikkei hit a 3-week closing low today, closing at 0.55%. That's lower than previous session. And that's it from here. It's back to you, Aneta.
And speaking about coronavirus, Germany has recorded its first confirmed case of the deadly disease in southern Bavaria region, believed to be the first human transmission in Europe. The patient is a 33-year-old man who contacted the infection from a Chinese colleague during a training session in Bavaria. Over 100 people have died in China, with confirmed infections surging to more than 4,500. The United States, Japan, France, India, and South Korea have all said they plan to airlift citizens out of Wuhan, the epicenter of the disease. And in sports, Inter Milan have completed the signing of Danish international midfielder Christian Eriksen from Tottenham Hotspur for a fee of around £16.9 million. The Serie A club announced that Eriksen's contract is until June 2024. The midfielder had joined Tottenham from Ajax in 2013 and played more than 200 matches from the North London club. Inter Milan currently sits second in Serie A, just 3 points behind leaders Juventus. And that's it on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Annette Felix. Many thanks for watching.